Hello everyone, seeing that it's Indigenous Month, I'm gonna be looking at some Indigenous movies I have. And the first ones I'll be looking at will be Shadow of the Hawk from 1976. Now, all three of these movies are from the 70s. They're all fun and enjoyable. The effects for their time are pretty good, and let's go into this. Shadow of the Hawk is about a young man. He's living in a city. He doesn't really believe in Native American things in the old ways. His grandfather tracks him down, basically says, "Our family did battle with this ancient evil. I need your help to do battle with it. And basically, I need to train you. Come help me fight this thing before it basically wreaks havoc around the world." The whole thing I got from this movie is accepting your history and your past and your culture. Be as modern as you want, but at least know something about where you came from. The effects are fine and everything for the time. There's a cult that comes after him at one point. The grandfather and the grandson end up meeting up with this young girl who ends up helping them, taking on the evil. The grandson and her start forming a relationship. So it's a bit of a forced romance, but it's not overly forced and annoying. Check this one out. The next one we're talking about is from 1978, and that is the Manitou. I know it does not look good right now. My puppy was chewing on it one time, so I had to get a new cover and everything, new case for it, but I managed to save the cover somewhat. This one here is about the Manitou. It's a kind of a ripoff of The Exorcist. There's another one, I guess you could say, is a ripoff of Jaws that I'll be talking about next. This one here, the Manitou. Well, first thing, if you don't know what a Manitou is, Native Americans believe that everything has a spirit, and that's basically the Manitou. They're called. This one here, it's about a young lady. She has a strange growth on her neck, and I'm not quite sure what it is. So she goes in the hospital, and they start doing all these tests. But as they're doing it, stuff starts happening. Like the Manitou spirit, the shaman who's reincarnating through her. He is basically taking control of her at some points, and she's unconscious, and they try to do a procedure to her to remove the Manitou. He lashes out and basically kills everyone in the room. Uh, Her ex-husband tries to help her. While the doctor's trying to do what they can, he goes up and it's like, "Yeah, um, we're gonna need more help." He's a phony fortune teller, and he sees a scene where I am very tired and I'm trying to focus on what I'm saying. He's a phony fortune teller, and while he's doing reading, the rich lady he's reading for basically starts levitating and yelling about the Manitou and throws herself down the stairs. He hears his wife talk about the Manitou, so he gets some people to look in, and they find out that she's basically possessed and being used as basically a gateway for him to come through. Essentially, she's pregnant by in the back of her neck, and the baby's gonna pop out fully grown and kill her. So he runs off and gets a Native American help him. A lot of them turn him down because if the Manitou is managed to reincarnate, he's an extremely powerful shaman. They're like, yeah, after he's done with all of you, he's gonna come for us for basically interfering with his reincarnation. One agrees to help him, and him and the Native American go to do battle with the Manitou. The one thing I did not like is there's a scene where the Native American is channeling Manitou to do battle with the shaman, the evil shaman, and he's basically like, yeah, the Manitou here in the hospital won't listen to me. The technology is white man's magic, so the spirits in the technology won't listen to him. Um, at the Basically at the end, it turns into a bit of a light show, Star Wars kind of clone. I guess you see in a battle scene where the good Manitou spirits possess the woman and start doing battle with the evil Manitou. That was the one thing that bugged me was, okay, so she went from getting possessed for one thing from another, and apparently Manitou spirits and technology are racist. The last one is from 1979, and that is Nightwing. This one here is a clone of Jaws. Came out in the wake of Jaws. It falls in the same category as Grizzly. It's an actually good rip-off, I guess you could say, or clone. And it's about these bats. They get onto this Native American land, and they're all rabid, and I believe they have some kind of plague, I believe, the bubonic plague they're also carrying. So a lot of havoc is going around. There's a sheriff who's basically like Sheriff Brody. He's not happy because some Native Americans are basically bickering of should let these big companies in basically take the oil, and a lot of them are basically like, no, we shouldn't, we should leave everything that was, like, respect the land. You got the ones who are like, oh, but we need the money, so we should sell the land. So there's that kind of conflict in this movie. There's a guy who shows up who is tracking the bats. He's been tracking them, their where they've been going and where they've been, and he's been trying to wipe out the bats. And this guy and the sheriff partner up to do battle with the bats. Fun movie. There is a scene where I was laughing. It wasn't the acting, but there's a scene where the sheriff shows up on this farm property, and they're like, yeah, something killed this horse. We're not sure what it was. It's got a bunch of bites all over it. And it's a prop horse, but instead of like trying to do something to make the horse look down naturally, like lying down on the ground, you can see it's just a prop and with paint on it, and the legs are in the air. And I'm just like, oh my god, you guys were so lazy at this one scene. It was a fun movie, but I couldn't get over that one scene. I kept laughing. So yeah, check these three movies out. They're a lot better than that piece of shit movie, Scalped. And that movie was from the 80s, so you'd think they would be better. But yes, good representation in these movies. A lot of the actors that play Native American are white. In the Nightwing movie. But you can get over it at some parts. You remember, it's the 70s. Not everything was perfect back then. Alright, take care, guys.